A very good evening. You're watching RajyaSabhaTV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight. Before we go over to the headlines, RajyaSabhaTV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and don't forget to maintain physical distancing whenever you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. And now over to the top stories of the day. Ready for vaccine rollout within 10 days of emergency use authorization, says government. Oxford AstraZeneca's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's indigenous Covaxin were approved for emergency use on the 3rd of January. Prospective vaccine users told to register themselves on CoWIN app. Registration not necessary for health workers and the frontline warriors. One nation, one gas grid. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates KochiMangaluru natural gas pipeline to the nation. Asserts rapid expansion of gas-based economy key to self-reliant India. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu underscores need for efforts to end gender-based discrimination in employment, urges teaching of technical courses in regional languages. And state governments take measures against bird flu. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh ban sale and purchase of poultry products. Kerala issues high alert, terms it a state-specific disaster. The Union Health Ministry said on Tuesday that it is prepared to roll out the COVID-19 vaccine within 10 days from the date of approval. Briefing the media, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said, based on feedback from the dry run, the government is ready to introduce the COVID-19 vaccine within 10 days from the date of emergency use authorization.
2 जनवरी को एक ड्राई रन किया, लार्ज स्केल ड्राई रन। उसमें 4 उद्देश्य थे कि ऑपरेशनल फीजिबिलिटी हम कोविन की देखें, उसको फील्ड में टेस्ट करें बड़े पैमाने पर, और लिंकेजेस जो प्लानिंग और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और रिपोर्टिंग के बीच की हैं, क्या वो काम करती हैं या उनमें कुछ कठिनाई आ रही है, क्या चैलेंजेस हैं और एक्चुअल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन से पहले उन चैलेंजेस को कैसे एड्रेस किया जाए। सारे जो स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर्स और प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं उनका ऑपरेशनलाइजेशन देखा गया, और ये भी देखा गया कि जहाँ भी हम इस प्रकार का टीकाकरण करें वहाँ इन्फेक्शन ना फैले, इन्फेक्शन प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल, इस पर भी ध्यान हुआ। तो ये हमें ये बताता है कि हम इस स्थिति में हैं कि जिस भी दिन हम चाहेंगे EUA के 10 दिन के भीतर हम उसको EUA का अर्थ है इमरजेंसी यूज ऑथराइजेशन, ये तो जिस भी दिन हुआ, जैसे अब आप जानते हैं कि किस दिन हुआ, उस दिन से 10 दिन के भीतर में ये रोल आउट होने की पूरी तैयारी है।
The Health Secretary also spoke about several features of the COVID vaccine delivery management system. He said that CoWIN has the facility of automated session allocation, Aadhaar authentication to prevent malpractice, creation of unique health ID among the various features. He also informed that healthcare workers and frontline workers need not register themselves as their database has been populated onto the CoWIN vaccine delivery management system in a bulk manner. He also went on to inform that there are 4 primary vaccine stores located in Karnal, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata, and 37 state vaccine stores across the country, adding that they store vaccines in bulk and then distribute them.
सेशन एलोकेशन की जो पूरी प्रक्रिया है वो भी डिजिटली होगी। बेनिफिशियरी को वैक्सीनेशन हुआ, ये भी डिजिटली कैप्चर किया जाएगा और उसको अगला डोज लेने के लिए कब आना है ये इन्फॉर्मेशन भी उसको डिजिटली दी जाएगी। फिर उसमें प्रावधान है कि यूनिक हेल्थ आईडी भी जनरेट की जा सकती है और जब दोनों डोजेज मिल जाएंगी तो एक क्यूआर कोड आधारित सर्टिफिकेट जनरेट होगा जो डिजिटल सर्टिफिकेट है। कोविन हमने बनाया भारत में है लेकिन ये विश्व के लिए है, ये एक पब्लिक हेल्थ गुड है। तो जो देश भी इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहेंगे भारत सरकार प्रोएक्टिवली उनकी मदद करेगी।
The country's drug regulator had on Sunday granted restricted emergency use approval to Oxford AstraZeneca's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's indigenously developed Covaxin, paving the way for a massive vaccination drive. On the approval of the two vaccines, Niti Aayog member V.K. Paul said that all scientific and statutory requirements were met while granting emergency use authorization.
In granting this permission and authorization, all scientific and statutory requirements have been met. Have no doubt that scientific criteria has been met and the regulatory norms have been followed. This is a decision based on the judgment of the subject expert committee. Our fourth vaccine has now moved into phase 3 trials. And that is again India vaccine, as you know, on a very difficult and a new and a novel platform.
In fact, ICMR DG Balram Bhargav also asserted that both Covishield and Covaxin are safe for use.
Covishield is safe and immunogenic, and the data showed that it is non-inferior to the UK product. It's a great day for India that we have these two vaccines now available, not only for the Indian people, but it is a ray of hope for the people in the low and middle income countries.
Meanwhile, vaccine makers Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech on Tuesday said both the companies will work together for a smooth rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines in the country as well as the world. In a joint statement, the CEO of Serum Institute, Adar Poonawalla, and Bharat Biotech's chairman and MD Krishna Ella announced their combined intent for developing, manufacturing and supplying the COVID-19 vaccines. They noted that the most important task for them at the moment is saving lives and livelihoods in India as well as the world. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Tuesday inspected the dry run for COVID-19 vaccination held at the Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital in Lucknow. The Chief Minister interacted with officials and the doctors at the hospital who are part of the dry run program. He also took stock of the preparation for rolling out the anti-COVID vaccination drive in the state. The dry run for COVID-19 vaccine rollout is being held in all the districts of Uttar Pradesh. Every district has 6 vaccination sites, including 3 in the rural and 3 in the urban areas. A nationwide dry run for COVID-19 vaccination was conducted on the 2nd of January. And India continues its streak of low daily new cases of coronavirus. 16,375 daily cases were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the national tally to over 10.35 million. India's active caseload declined to 2,31,000, which comprises only 2.23% of the total positive cases. Also, with 29,091 new recoveries reported in the same period, India continues to report more daily recoveries than the daily new cases. The total recoveries are now nearing 1 crore in the country. The national recovery rate has further improved to 96.32%. With 201 new deaths reported in the last 24 hours, the total death toll due to COVID-19 stands at 1,49,850. The COVID-19 case fatality rate stands at 1.45%. The total tests in India have crossed 17 crore 65 lakh, with over 8,96,000 tests conducted in just the past 24 hours. Maharashtra reported 4,875 cases in the last 24 hours, followed by Kerala that reported 3,021 new cases, while Chhattisgarh reported 1,147 daily cases of COVID-19 on Monday. Maharashtra also saw the maximum casualties at 29, while West Bengal and Punjab saw a fatality count of 25 and 24 respectively. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who was invited as the chief guest for the Republic Day parade, has cancelled his visit due to the serious coronavirus situation in his country. According to officials, Boris Johnson called up Prime Minister Modi and expressed his inability to visit India, citing the need to personally oversee the pandemic response in the United Kingdom. During the phone call, both leaders underlined their shared commitment to the bilateral relationship and agreed to continue to work in close collaboration in response to the pandemic. A new chief guest for the Republic Day will be announced soon. The cancellation of the visit came hours after Boris Johnson announced a fresh lockdown in the UK over the new strain of coronavirus that has affected thousands of people in the country. As many as 71 people have already tested positive for the new UK variant of SARS-CoV-2 so far, with 33 new cases reported in the country on Tuesday. India is set to resume its flight services to the UK starting Wednesday. Union Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the limited resumption of civil aviation traffic between India and the UK has been allowed after assessment of available facts. He also stated that the passengers will be tested on arrival. The government has made it compulsory to test once again upon arrival from Britain. The total number of flights have also been reduced from 60 a week to 30.
So we made it compulsory to test again on arrival. And even if you're negative, we made mandatory home quarantine for 7 days. We will review the situation if any additional steps have to be taken. So far, it is a limited resumption of civil aviation with the UK.
At least 5 states are facing bird flu scare, with Himachal Pradesh becoming the 5th state in the country to have confirmed bird flu cases in the last 1 week. Around 1,800 migratory birds died at the Pongdam Lake in the state in 1 week, with officials now confirming that it was because of the H1N1 avian influenza virus. Slaughtering, sale, purchase and export of any poultry, birds, fish of any breed and their related products, including eggs, meat and chicken, have been banned in the state's Kangra district. Haryana has also reported a huge number of bird carcasses at Barwala in Panchkula district. A probe is on to find out whether the birds were infected by bird flu. The Kerala government also on Tuesday declared bird flu as a state-specific disaster, adding that a high alert has been issued after the virus was found in some parts of Kottayam and Alappuzha districts. Culling of chickens and ducks also began in affected districts of Alappuzha and Kottayam districts as per the guidelines issued by the government. Bird flu cases have also been reported from the states of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday virtually inaugurated the Kochi-Mangaluru natural gas pipeline. Highlighting his energy roadmap, the Prime Minister said that the share of natural gas in India's energy basket will be more than doubled and energy sources diversified in the next 10 years. He asserted that the government is working on the One Gas Line pipeline grid plan. More details in this report. Inaugurating the 450-kilometer-long gas pipeline from Kochi in Kerala to Mangaluru in Karnataka, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the government is working with a vision of one nation, one pipeline to provide clean energy access across the country. Prime Minister Modi asserted that the government has an integrated approach to energy planning.
Crores of rupees would be invested in the oil and gas sector in this decade itself. Dedication of this Kochi-Mangaluru natural gas pipeline of GAIL is a part of our journey to move towards one nation, one gas grid. Clean energy is important for a better future. The pipeline will help improve clean energy access. Our government believes in an integrated approach for energy planning. Our energy agenda is all-inclusive. Since 2014, we have brought in various reforms across the oil and gas sector. These reforms cover exploration and production, natural gas marketing and distribution.
The Prime Minister said that natural gas pipeline network will be doubled in 5 to 6 years and CNG stations will be raised to 10,000 from the current 1,500. He asserted that the pipeline will boost the economy of Kerala and Karnataka. The new pipeline will help take the fuel to industries such as petrochemical plants and fertilizer units, provide fuel for city gas projects for supply of CNG and piped cooking gas to 10 districts along the pipeline, help the liquefied natural gas import terminal at Kochi to achieve full capacity. The pipeline would improve the ease of living in both the states. It would provide clean energy to Mangalore refinery and also play a major role in reducing pollution in both states.
ये पाइपलाइन दोनों राज्यों में लाखों लोगों के लिए ईज ऑफ लिविंग बढ़ाएगी। दूसरा, ये पाइपलाइन दोनों ही राज्यों के गरीब, मध्यम वर्ग और उद्यमियों का खर्च कम करेगी। तीसरा, ये पाइपलाइन अनेक शहरों में सिटी गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम उसका एक माध्यम बनेगी। चौथा, ये पाइपलाइन अनेक शहरों में सीएनजी आधारित ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम को डेवलप करने का आधार बनेगी। पांचवा, ये पाइपलाइन मैंगलोर केमिकल और फर्टिलाइजर प्लांट को ऊर्जा देगी, कम खर्च में खाद बनाने में मदद करेगी, किसान को मदद होगी।
The Prime Minister also said that the emphasis is being laid on manufacturing biofuels as well as electric mobility. He said that in 10 years' time, petrol will be doped with as much as 20% of ethanol extracted from sugarcane and other agro-products. This would help cut reliance on imports for meeting oil needs as well as reduce carbon emissions.
देश में ही बायोफ्यूल्स पर बहुत बड़े स्तर पर काम चल रहा है। गन्ना हो या अन्य एग्रो प्रोडक्ट्स हो, इनसे इथेनॉल के निर्माण पर गंभीरता से काम किया जा रहा है। अगले 10 साल में पेट्रोल में होने वाली इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग को 20% तक करने का लक्ष्य रखा गया है। यही नहीं, इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी से जुड़े सेक्टर को, इसमें जुड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को भी बहुत अधिक प्रोत्साहन दिया जा रहा है।
Prime Minister Modi said that the government wants to diversify energy sources to meet future energy needs. He asserted that the policy initiatives of his government has reduced dependency on kerosene due to the increased usage of cooking gas. The virtual event was attended by governors and chief ministers of Kerala and Karnataka, Union Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and authorities of GAIL India Limited. Bureau Report, RajyaSabhaTV. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called for bridging gender divide in STEM-related employment. Speaking at the Institute of Mathematical Sciences in Chennai, the Vice President said that while India produces about 40%, which is the highest percentage of women STEM graduates in the world, their share in STEM jobs is very low at 14% and needs to be improved.
A major issue of concern in STEM-related employment is the underrepresentation of women. While about 40% of STEM graduates in India are women, which is the highest in the world, women's share in STEM jobs in India is mere 14%. Even more worrisome is the poor women's participation in postgraduate and doctoral studies. This needs to be encouraged. The women pay more attention. no deviation. That has been proven. Gargeyi, Maitreyi, even Vedic times, women were in the forefront.
Speaking about the importance of mathematics and India's rich legacy in the subject, the Vice President called for unearthing hidden talent among children and urged educators to adopt creative methods to engage children in the subject.
The educators must adopt creative methods to invigorate young minds. Puzzles, demonstrations, and other hands-on activity could be utilized to make children become friends with the numbers. A pedantic manner of teaching should be replaced with more interactive and inclusive method. The new education policy seeks to do away with the rigid separation between arts and sciences.
Moving on, the Supreme Court on Tuesday approved the Central Vista project, paving the way for the government to start construction work on a 3-kilometer stretch from Rashtrapati Bhavan to India Gate in Lutyens, Delhi. A 3-judge bench by 2:1 majority held that there were no infirmities in clearances granted for the project. In the majority verdict, the apex court said that prior permission shall be taken from Heritage Conservation Committee and other relevant authorities before start of construction at the new sites. The verdict came on several pleas on the issue against various permissions given to the project by the authorities, including the grant of environmental clearance and the nod to change land use. The Central Vista revamp, announced in September 2019, envisages a new triangular parliament building to be constructed by August 2022. The project is estimated to be worth over 20,000 crore rupees. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri welcomed the Supreme Court judgment and said that the government would continue to adhere to the highest standards during the period of construction.
The Honorable Supreme Court has made some suggestions and we will comply with all of them. My position on this all along has been that we will go strictly according to the rule book, and if there are some procedures that need to be tweaked, we will happily do that. This building will represent the aspirations of New India.
The Estimates Committee on Tuesday heard from the representatives of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation on review of funds allocation and utilization under the MP-led fund scheme. The Estimates Committee scrutinizes the functioning of the government's ministries and departments in terms of expenditure and the utilization of funds. It also suggests alternative policies in order to bring about efficiency and economy in the administration. Besides, it also examines whether the finances are laid out within the limits of the policy implied in the estimates, and also to suggest the form in which the estimates shall be presented to Parliament. The committee is headed by Lok Sabha MP Girish Balchandra Bapat. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar arrived on a 3-day visit to Sri Lanka on Tuesday. During the visit, he will hold talks with the country's top leadership and discuss issues of mutual and bilateral interests. The minister will hold talks with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, and his counterpart Dinesh Gunawardena. In some weather news now, fresh snowfall occurred in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and the Kashmir Valley, while rains lashed across several states in North India. National capital Delhi received light rains for the 3rd consecutive day, even as the minimum temperature rose to 13.2 degrees Celsius due to cloud cover. A strong western disturbance is causing rains in the plains and widespread snowfall in the hilly areas. The India Meteorological Department has said that the mercury is likely to dip again once the western disturbance withdraws. Parts of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and western Uttar Pradesh also received heavy rains. South India is also witnessing widespread rainfall. Puducherry, Lakshadweep, Tamil Nadu and Kerala witnessed heavy rainfall. The hills of Uttarkashi, Chamoli, Rudraprayag and Pithoragarh also received fresh snowfall on Tuesday. The Gangotri and Yamunotri temples, dozens of villages in the Harshil Valley, the hilly areas of Mori and Badkot in Uttarkashi district also got covered in a heavy snow cover. Badrinath, Nanda Devi National Park, Valley of Flowers and the Kedarnath Musk Deer Sanctuary also received light snowfall. Overcast conditions prevailed in the plains with winds and intermittent drizzling in Dehradun. So that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again urge all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Don't forget to wear face masks. Keep washing your hands and faces regularly and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions by you are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Good night and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.